Hello and welcome to another recap. And this time it's going to be about Chapter 6, Fresh, Poison and Jellies. I got this title of there are some creatures in this chapter that end with jelly. And there's some poison in there, so instead of peanut butter jelly time, I thought fresh poison and jelly. It's just a little bit of inside thing. And as usual, I've asked, it's like the last 2 times I've asked Ashley and Isaac to sit together again, listen to the podcast and talk us through what actually happened. I think they do an amazing job. And in the beginning, for me, it's just a way to tell you a bit more about this setting. And most of, if you've listened and if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, then you know that me as a DM, I've used 2 books for this, which is The Dragon of Icespire Peak and The Lost Mine of Phandelver. And I combine these 2 in between. And in the last session, we got we got the White Dragon of the Icespire Peak thrown into the storyline. And from there on, it was time to put some quests of the book in there. And that's basically what I did. The Red Brands came to an end. That was from the Lost Mine of Phandelver. And then when that terror in Phandalin was finished, then it was time for a new terror. And that's the White Dragon. And 3 quests of many of them from the book are thrown in there. And that's the Dwarven Excavation Site, Umbridge Hill, and Nomengard. Those 3 are official quests from the book Lost Mine of The Dragon of Icespire Peak, and 2 of them are being, let's say, taken care of in this one. And I need to say, Umbridge Hill, they went to do it in a very, very nice way that I wouldn't have foreseen how they would come up with that. So I went all with it, because if my players come up with such a nice impulse, then I gladly go with them, and that's what happened in this session. That's all. That's a little bit of inside information about this chapter, and I'll leave it now for Ashley and Isaac. You enjoy it, and I'll see you at Chapter 7.
Okay, so you sent us some really cool stuff this time.
Yeah, definitely.
We're talking brave adventurers and mythical creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, some pretty intense breakfast conversations.
Oh, yeah. That was something else.
Let's dive into this, shall we?
Let's do it.
I'm really curious about this one.
So what we're looking at here is a transcript from a YouTube channel called Dan and Dragons.
Ray, I've seen that one.
And this particular session is titled Chapter 06, Fresh Poison and Jellies.
Fresh Poison and Jellies. Very descriptive.
Yeah,
you know?
What's that all about?
I love those D&D titles.
Right into the action with this one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We've got this group of adventurers dealing with the aftermath of a dragon attack.
Oh, yeah.
Which is already a pretty bad day, I would say.
You'd think that's enough for one session, right?
You'd think.
But immediately pulled into new challenges?
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, they run into a talking manticore.
A talking manticore?
Not something you see every day.
Not every day.
Oh.
And then they decide, hey, let's go check out this mysterious dwarven excavation.
It's like they don't want a break.
Adventurers, got to keep busy.
So, okay, if I'm following along here.
Yeah.
We're talking about a D&D campaign, right?
Exactly.
And what you're saying is this chapter
session,
really throws some curveballs at these players.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And we're here to break it all down.
That's the mission.
The mission, okay.
We're going deep
dive
to help you understand the key events, how the characters are interacting with each other, with their world, and honestly, the mysteries that just start popping up everywhere.
Mystery's always good.
Keeps things interesting, right?
It's like a masterclass in how a D&D campaign can just take these unexpected turns.
You never know what's going to happen next.
And that's what makes it so fun, right?
Absolutely. The unpredictability keeps you on your toes.
And the sources you've given us really paint a picture of just how fast things change.
On a dime.
For these adventurers.
1 minute you're dealing with a dragon, the next.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But what I'm really interested in
Yeah.
are those moments where they have to think on their feet.
Yeah, the resourcefulness.
Resourcefulness right when they're really put to the test.
Absolutely. Those are the moments that shine.
Okay, so let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
This manticore situation.
Oh, boy.
The adventurers arrive at Umbridge Hill.
Okay.
Sounds pleasant enough.
It's a nice spot, actually.
And their mission is pretty straightforward.
Seems simple enough on the surface.
Warn this potion maker named
Adabra Gwyn.
Adabra Gwyn about a white dragon.
White dragon, bad news.
Bad news, yeah.
But of course,
Yeah.
things don't go quite as planned.
What happens?
Well, they get to Umbridge Hill, and they find Adabra's windmill under attack.
Oh, no.
By a manticore.
A manticore already were in trouble.
Yeah, you think, okay, classic hero moment, right?
Save the day.
But it doesn't play out like that.
No.
Not at all.
So what happened?
So Sefin,
Who's Effin?
one of the adventurers,
Okay.
a bit of a hothead,
Uh-oh.
immediately goes on the offensive.
Okay.
Tries to slash at the manticore's wing.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
It does not go well.
Backfires.
Spectacularly.
Ouch.
The manticore shrugs off the attack.
Of course.
Retaliates with this nasty tail spike.
I was going to say, those things are dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
And
then
it-
get this.
It starts talking.
It talks.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
A talking manticore that changes things.
Completely changes the game.
I mean, it's not just a beast to beat up anymore.
Right. It's not just a monster to slay.
It's got.
It can reason.
Yeah.
It can negotiate.
You can maybe make a deal.
Maybe there's a deal to be made.
It makes you wonder, what does this creature actually want?
What's its motivation?
Right.
So you got to think about that.
So they're kind of thrown off guard
Oh, yeah. Completely.
by this talking manticore.
Who wouldn't be?
But luckily,
Yeah.
they've got Ara with them. Ara, she's great.
And she's got some experience.
Right. She draws on her past experiences.
Okay.
She recognizes the creature as a manticore,
All right.
but she also remembers
Yeah.
that they can sometimes be persuaded.
Persuaded by what?
Well, let's just say their motivations aren't always purely hostile.
Not always about mindless destruction.
Not always, no.
Interesting.
Sometimes gold can change their tune.
The classic.
Or a lot of food.
They like eat.
They've got an appetite.
So maybe they can bribe this thing.
Maybe.
This is where having a diverse group really pays off.
Absolutely. A well-rounded party with different knowledge.
Right. You need that variety of skills.
You never know what's going to come in handy.
This is good advice for anyone putting together their own adventuring parties.
Oh, yeah. Think about those backgrounds.
Yeah, think about what each character brings to the table.
Absolutely.
So they have to figure out how to use this knowledge, right?
Okay, so they've got Ara's insight,
Right.
and it's clear that a straight-up fight,
Yeah.
especially after Sefin's little mishap, it's probably not the best option.
Not the best way to go.
So they need another approach.
So what do?
Well, they try the obvious first bribery.
Classic.
Offer the manticore some gold.
Shining gold.
Try to buy it off,
But
but it doesn't work.
no.
This manticore's got different priorities.
Not interested in riches.
Seems like it.
So what does this creature want?
It's a good question.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Because its dialogue hints at hunger.
Okay. Hungry manticore.
But there's also this arrogance,
Yeah.
this sense of superiority.
Oh, so it's not just a hungry beast.
No, it's more complex than that.
There's something else going on.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
So we've got a bit of a mystery here.
A mystery manticore.
What makes it tick?
And this is where things take a turn.
Oh, yeah.
Safari.
And our resident hothead?
He's not giving up easily.
No, he's not.
Sneaks into the windmill.
Bold move.
And with Adabra's help,
The potion maker. They're going to cook up a plan.
oh boy, what did they do?
They decide to poison some berries and rations.
They're going to poison the manticore.
That's the plan.
And what are they using?
Thallium.
Thallium.
What's that? It's a pretty nasty substance.
Oh, nasty.
Tasteless, odorless, highly toxic.
Sounds dangerous.
It is.
So they're really pulling out the big guns here.
I'd say so.
I mean, this is pretty extreme.
It's a drastic measure.
Yeah, you gotta wonder.
Yeah.
Is it justified?
That's the question, isn't it?
I mean, the manticore is a threat.
It's attacking the windmill.
The poisoning.
It's a tough call.
It brings up this whole issue
Yeah.
of how far is too far
When you're facing a threat.
when your lives are on the line.
Exactly.
Do the ends justify the means?
It's a classic dilemma.
I bet our listener is thinking about this right now.
I hope so.
What would they do in this situation?
That's a good question to ask yourself.
So they have their poisoned food
Okay.
ready to go,
Ready to go.
and they offer it to the manticore.
Of course, the Manticore is a little suspicious.
I would be too.
Who wouldn't be?
You're being offered food out of the blue.
Yeah, by the people you were just attacking?
Exactly.
But then Deimos...
Another adventurer.
Yeah, he's a clever one.
What does he do?
Creates a distraction.
To get the Manticore's attention off the food.
Exactly. Plays on the Manticore's hunger.
Which we know is a big motivator.
The big motivator.
And maybe a little bit of overconfidence.
Oh yeah, thinking it's too powerful to be tricked.
So the Manticore falls for it.
Hook, line, and sinker.
And eats the poisoned food.
Devours it.
And then?
Well, the thallium does its job.
Grim, but effective.
Very effective.
The Manticore collapses.
And dies.
Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Not exactly how you'd picture it.
No, not your typical hero moment.
But they got the job done.
They did.
A little morally gray, maybe?
A little bit.
But they were quick on their feet.
They had to be.
Resourceful.
Absolutely.
So Adabra is safe.
Safe and sound.
She must be grateful.
Oh, she is.
What does she do?
She rewards them with healing potions.
That's always useful.
And she confirms that she also got a warning about the dragon.
So someone's going around warning people.
Trying to spread the word.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
She doesn't want to leave.
Even though there's a dragon on the loose?
Even though she's just been attacked by a Manticore?
She's stubborn, this one.
Dedicated to her work.
Wants to keep making potions.
I guess you could say she's focused.
Hyper-focused, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a little too focused.
You know, sometimes when you're so caught up in your own thing...
You miss the bigger picture.
Exactly.
So the adventurers have to convince her?
Yeah, they got to get her to safety.
How do they do that?
Well, they appeal to her practical side.
Okay.
They mention the vacant woodworker's cabin in Phandalin.
A safe place.
Much safer than a windmill.
Especially when there's a dragon around.
Right.
And they also point out that she could have access to herbs and recipes.
If she moved...
Where would she find those?
In the basement of the Red Brand Manor.
Oh, right. They cleared that out a while ago.
They did.
So they're using what they know...
Smart.
...to persuade her.
It's all about leverage.
Yeah, give her a reason to move that benefits her.
Exactly.
Not just about safety.
It's about her work.
About her livelihood.
Exactly.
So it works.
It does.
She agrees to move.
She does.
And then we get a little...
What?
A little bartering going on.
The art of the deal.
Deimos trades a potion of invisibility.
That's a valuable item.
It is.
And a recipe scroll.
Okay.
That they found in the Red Brand hideout.
Right.
And he trades those to Adabra for 2 healing potions.
Always handy.
And a potion of speed.
Ooh. Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
But that invisibility potion, that's a big deal.
Adabra even mentions how rare and valuable it is.
So Deimos is playing his cards, right?
He's thinking strategically.
Using what they have to get what they need.
That's what it's all about.
And then to rack things up, Sephin decides to take a little souvenir.
A little something to remember the encounter.
What does he take?
The Manticore's head.
The head.
Yeah.
As a trophy.
As a trophy.
That's very Sephin.
Very Sephin.
A little gruesome.
A little bit.
But hey, it's a reminder of their victory.
A symbol of their triumph.
I can only imagine the innkeeper's face.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
When that package arrives.
What's in the box?
Okay, so Manticore dealt with. Adabra's safe.
For now.
The adventurers leave Umbridge Hill.
On to the next adventure.
And they're headed south.
South. Towards the Dwarven excavation.
Sounds like a long journey.
Oh yeah, the transcript mentions 19 hours.
On foot?
On foot.
That's a lot of walking.
A lot of time to fill.
So what do they do to pass the time?
Well, one of them decides to teach Sephin Elvish.
Elvish? Huh.
Yeah.
Useful language to know.
You never know when you might need to talk to an elf.
I guess not.
Could be important later on.
Foreshadowing. So one adventurer is trying to teach.
Imparting knowledge.
And Sephin's probably butchering the pronunciation.
I can just imagine.
I bet it was entertaining.
It's a nice little glimpse into their dynamic.
Yeah, bit of levity on the road.
Exactly.
So they eventually set up camp.
Yeah, they need to rest after all that walking.
Where do they stop?
Near a small pond.
Sounds peaceful.
You'd think so.
But this is D&D.
Nothing's ever that simple.
What happens?
Sephin's washing up in the pond.
Okay.
And he gets attacked.
Attacked again?
By a constrictor snake.
A snake in the pond.
Talk about a jump scare.
Poor Sephin can't catch a break.
He's a magnet for trouble.
But he manages to kill it.
He's tough, this one.
And then?
What does he do?
Don't tell me.
He does.
He eats it.
Well, not right away.
Okay.
He prepares the snake meat.
To eat later.
Smoked snake for breakfast.
Delicious.
It's all about survival.
Making the most of a bad situation.
Exactly.
And a good reminder that danger can be lurking anywhere.
Even when you think you're safe.
So it's got to be vigilant.
Always on guard.
So the next morning...
Yeah, they pack up camp.
They finally reach their destination.
The dwarven excavation.
They've been walking for a while.
19 hours, remember?
So they get there.
They arrive at the entrance to a canyon.
Okay.
That leads to the excavation.
What does it look like?
It's described as a ruined settlement.
Ruined, not a good sign.
No.
What else?
A broken gate.
Doesn't sound very welcoming.
Not exactly.
So they start exploring.
They venture in.
And what do they find?
Signs of a recent campfire.
Someone was here.
Recently. But that's not all.
What else?
Crushed dwarven bones.
Oh.
Not a good sign.
Someone or something dangerous has been here.
Definitely.
So the tension is building.
Oh, yeah.
They're walking into a potentially dangerous situation.
They don't know what they're going to find.
And then...
They encounter two dwarves.
Okay.
Near what looks like a temple facade.
A temple.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The dwarves are named Deslin, Steelhead, and Norbus.
Ah!
And they're prospectors.
Prospectors? What are they looking for?
Who knows? Maybe treasure.
Maybe.
Maybe something else.
So what are these dwarves doing here?
Well, they stumbled upon the ruins.
Yeah.
But they were driven out of a nearby temple.
By what?
By ogre jellies.
Ogre jellies? What are those?
They're nasty.
How nasty?
Imagine a blob of jelly.
Okay.
But huge.
Huge.
And acidic.
Acidic out.
You can squeeze through tiny spaces.
So they're hard to get rid of.
Very hard.
And they drove out dwarves.
Dwarves.
Who are pretty tough themselves.
Exactly.
So these ogre jellies are bad news.
Bad news. So these prospectors...
About a proposition?
For our adventurers...
They'll give them something. Sending stones.
Sending stones. What are those?
Imagine magical walkie-talkies.
Oh, cool. So they can communicate over long distances.
Exactly.
Handy.
Very handy.
What's the catch?
They have to clear the ogre jellies out of the temple?
Oh, so it's a quest. A quest for sending stones.
Sounds fair.
And the dwarves give them a warning about fighting the jellies.
What's the warning?
Don't use slashing damage.
Why not?
Because it makes them multiply.
Multiply.
Yeah, you cut one in half, you get two.
That's not good.
Not good at all.
So they have to be careful.
Very careful.
So into the temple they go.
Armed with this knowledge.
And what is this temple like?
Pitch black.
Oh, that's creepy.
And it's dedicated to an evil dwarven god.
Evil dwarven god.
Named Abathor.
Abathor, never heard of him.
He's all about greed and trickery.
Oh, so not a good god.
Not a good god, no.
So this temple sounds like a fun place.
If you like the dark and dangerous...
Then, of course.
They get attacked.
Almost immediately.
By ogre jellies?
Two of them.
And how do they attack?
They drop from the ceiling.
Classic ambush.
Gets them every time.
And who do they target?
Saffron again.
What can I say? The man attracts trouble.
I think these jellies have a personal vendetta.
Maybe they just don't like his face.
So they're in a fight.
A chaotic, messy fight.
What did they do?
Spells are flying.
Okay.
Weapons are clashing.
Anyone using those lances and javelins we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
And someone has a magic ring?
A very special ring.
What does it do?
It makes one of the jellies terrified.
Terrified.
The person wearing the ring.
So they're using fear as a weapon.
Clever tactic.
Against a creature that's not exactly known for its intelligence.
Not the brightest bulb in the chandelier.
So it works.
It does.
They manage to defeat the ogre jellies.
Without any slicing or dicing.
Following the rules.
Very important.
And the dwarves are grateful.
Oh, yeah.
They hand over the sending stones.
As promised.
Another challenge overcome.
Another victory.
And a valuable reward.
Those sending stones will come in handy.
Especially if they get separated.
Or need to communicate quickly.
So the jellies are defeated, right. But they don't just leave.
No. They decide to explore the temple.
Why?
Maybe there's treasure.
Treasure's always good.
Or maybe they're just curious.
Adventurers are curious.
They like to poke around.
So what do they find?
Secret doors.
Ooh, secret doors lead to...
Other areas of the temple.
Like what?
Empty bedchambers.
Okay, so people used to live here.
Or at least sleep here.
A collapsed room.
A collapsed room.
The collapsed room.
Yeah, the whole ceiling's caved in.
Sounds dangerous.
It is.
But also intriguing.
Maybe there's something hidden in there.
So they go in.
They do.
And Sefin... About the room.
What kind of feeling?
A feeling of evil.
Sefin's got a sixth sense for evil.
Seems like it.
So he finds something.
In the rubble.
What is it?
A silver necklace with a jewel on it.
Okay.
And it's a holy symbol of Abathor.
The evil dwarven god.
The one and only.
So this temple is definitely his domain.
No doubt about it.
And this necklace could be important.
Holy symbols often have power.
So they have to be careful with it. Yeah. Very careful.
So they find this necklace.
And then they remember.
What?
That they have a journal.
A journal from where?
From the Red Brand lair.
Oh, right. They found that a while ago.
Back in a previous session.
And it's written in Dwarven.
She couldn't read it before.
But now...
You have Deslin.
The dwarf prospector.
Exactly.
So they ask him to translate.
He agrees.
Smart thinking, connecting the dots.
Bringing it all together.
So what's in the journal?
Well, it's the journal of an adventurer named Euron.
Euron, okay.
And it talks about the history of the lost mine of Phandelver.
Lost Mine of Phandelver? That sounds familiar.
It's a legendary place.
What's so special about it?
It was a source of great wealth.
Ah, so there's treasure.
Probably.
And what else?
It mentions the Forge of Spells.
The Forge of Spells. What's that?
A powerful magical forge.
Where they made magic items.
Exactly.
So this mine is pretty important.
Very important.
And it's lost.
Vanished centuries ago.
That's a shame.
It is.
But the journal also mentions something else.
There's a magic
mace, okay.
Called Lightbringer.
Lightbringer sounds powerful.
It was lost in Wave Echo Cave.
Wave Echo Cave, where's that?
That's the problem.
Wait.
The journal doesn't say.
Oh, so it's a mystery.
Another mystery.
And the listener's character doesn't remember it either.
No. They've got no recollection of it.
So they have a new goal.
Find Wave Echo Cave.
And maybe the magic mace?
Maybe.
Sounds like a good quest.
A classic adventure hook.
So what do they do next?
They decide to go back to Phandalin.
Back to town.
Want to talk to the new town master.
Who's that?
Helia Thornton.
Why her?
She might have information about the lost mine.
Or Wave Echo Cave?
She's the town master.
She's got to know something.
So they set off back to Phandalin. There's always...
As they're leaving, they get ambushed.
Ambushed by orcs?
3?
Not good.
Not good at all.
Talk about a cliffhanger. Leaves you wanting more.
What do you think it means?
Someone's watching them.
Maybe they don't want them finding Wave Echo Cave.
Maybe.
We'll have to wait and see.
The next session will tell.
Okay, so let's recap.
Let's do it.
A lot happened in this session.
A lot.
We had the talking manticore.
And its unfortunate end.
The creepy dwarven excavation.
With the crushed bones.
The ogre jellies.
That multiply when you cut them.
The Abathor symbol.
A sign of evil.
And the lost mine of Phandelver.
And the magic mace Lightbringer.
It's like a whole campaign in one session.
It's packed.
Your players had to think fast.
With that manticore.
And that poison was a game changer.
Definitely a turning point.
And the lost mine.
That's a classic hook.
It could lead to so many adventures.
A whole new storyline.
So now we have to wonder...
What will they do next?
Will they fight the orcs?
Or run away?
What about the Abathor symbol?
Will be important later.
And will they search for Wave Echo Cave?
And the magic mace.
So many possibilities.
The possibilities are endless.
This session really shows that.
Yeah.
That even in a world of fantasy,
dragons and dungeons,
a little quick thinking,
and a bit of poison
can make all the difference.
Absolutely.
So now it's up to you.
What will your adventurers do next?
The fate of the world may depend on it.
No pressure.
Until next time.
Happy adventuring.